This here is Cinder Wars, a brand new comic book about humanoid robots. That's right, humanoid robots. Now, we've reviewed a lot of different robots before, but none of them actually have any kind of comic book behind them. Well, not until today. Now, this was sent by good folks over at Digikas Comics, in which if you guys want to go ahead and check out this particular comic book, as well as crowdfunding page, check out the link down below in the description, as well as a brand new humanoid robot that they're building. Now, this is called Cinder Wars. It's essentially a comic book about these gigantic robots. Now, this here is season 1, aka Birth of a Nemesis, and I have to say it's actually a really good read. It's got a lot of colorful pages with a lot of different action and a lot of very unique characters. Now, to kind of give you a little bit of a gif about the story, well, there's these gigantic robots, in which this one here is TS-81, from a planet called Uranum. Now, upon searching the planets and skies, they're looking for something called a Mon, which is essentially their own energy. Now, this particular robot came to planet Earth around the prehistoric age with dinosaurs and ends up kind of crashing about when the comet hits near a volcano. Now, after many years, this particular city forms next to this volcano called Maiku City, a very prosperous city with a lot of technology. Now, this volcano becomes very active, so they have to go ahead and kind of essentially counter it. Now, there's a doctor called Dr. Imar Shakov, which essentially creates this gigantic drill to help stabilize this volcano. Now, upon drilling, they discover this gigantic humanoid robot, aka TS-81, aka Albertus Magmus, and literally they're in fear. Now, to go ahead and counter it, they decided the best way to go ahead and do it is essentially short circuit the robot using electricity. However, as a response, the robot awakens up and out comes Albertus Magmus, aka from Mount Elbrus and of course volcano magma. Now, overall the robot becomes essentially like a threat and it becomes a friend and essentially ends up signaling out to these other robots to come back to the planet to go ahead and essentially create this new war. Now, the unique thing behind this is that there's some other characters, including a general, aka General Shapshal, which essentially decides to go ahead and use this robot as a weapon. So they create their own robot, and then this particular robot gets possessed by this bad guy called Jahanor, which is overall a very cool story. So I have to say, I don't want to give out too much details, but I have to say it's actually a great story and a great read overall. But the real kicker is that they've created a humanoid robot based off of this. That is right, they went ahead and recreated actually this robot here, TS-81, aka Albertus Magma, in a real life format, and it is one of the tallest humanoid robots we've seen. Now, I'm actually a pretty big fan of this, mainly because it has a lot of cool features, including the ability to walk, slide, talk, and it even has something called a PCS, which is essentially a puppeteer control system. Now, the unique thing behind that is the fact that it's actually based off the comic book. How cool is that? They actually show it in here and they actually use it, but in real life you can use it yourself to control this robot as a puppeteer. Not only that, have something called magic hands, allowing to go ahead and control it using these gloves, and I have to say it sounds like a really cool concept. Now, the comic book is great and the robot itself is even better, and I have to say even in season 2 you might get a little glimpse of somebody, aka me, in the comic book as well. So with that said, if you guys had any questions, comment down below. Otherwise, I'm super pumped up for this, and so should you. We'll see you guys next time. Take care now. Bye-bye.